the irony.
So you can say that about people.
No,
you
you're
have said that about a lot of people. But when they say do it to Tucker or Candace, you pull back.
Right.
So Tucker is in a different camp because I adore Tucker. I will never be bullied. Ask anybody. That's the one thing that I will never bend the knee to. I'm not going to be bullied.
I mean, the more you push me, the more I'm going to say fuck you to you.
Yeah.
Which is
What a child.
honest and clearly your response on X and on your show is that the more you push me, the more I'm going to say fuck you to you.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's been a week in the conservative media world. Megyn Kelly, yes, that Megyn, is catching heat for not what she said, but what she didn't say. While Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson have been stirring controversy with their latest theories, Megyn's been keeping her distance, refusing to condemn, refusing to engage, and insisting she's not the speech police.
Here's where it gets interesting. The silence has become its own story. Viewers, fellow creators, and even some allies have been calling her out, asking, Megyn, where do you stand? Is she protecting free speech or just protecting herself?
And see, that's the question. Because while Candace is doubling down, tripling down, even quadrupling down, actually, Megyn looks like she's melting down. She's snapping at her audience, brushing off criticism, and basically saying, y'all can't tell me what to do, so which is it? A stand for independence or just pride dressed up as principle?
Let's unpack that. Megyn's built her brand as a straight shooter, a journalist who calls it like she sees it, but lately her approach feels conflicted. She's proud of being independent, but that independence is starting to look more like defensiveness.
Exactly. It's like she's allergic to feedback. And when your viewers, your own community, are trying to give counsel, not criticism, maybe it's time to listen. Megyn, this isn't about control. It's about consistency. You can't call yourself a truth teller and then check out when the truth gets convenient.
And that's the crux of it, isn't it? If Candace Owens is out there making wild claims and Tucker's echoing them, shouldn't the so-called responsible voices at least draw some lines? Megyn says she's just letting everyone talk, but letting unverified information breathe unchecked isn't neutrality.
Meanwhile, Candace Owens is over here lighting matches and pouring gasoline after being sued by French President Emmanuel Macron for defamation over her claims about Brigitte Macron's identity. You think she'd cool it, but no, she's not backing off. She's doubling down and then doubling down again.
Nor do I want it to be in my power. You know, I mean, obviously we're talking about the pressure on me right now to like denounce Candace Owens or denounce Tucker, which I've said.
I did that on your show, by the way.
Yeah, right.
That's my role,
well,
Megyn.
this is part of the point I was going to make. So there's a lot of pressure on me to do that, and I'm not going to do that. And I've been
You've been very clear about that on Twitter.
Yeah, I've been having Twitter wars, X wars. I've said it on my show, and people are very angry with me for not doing that. And
that's people within your own camp, by the way. There's a lot of people that I know that are friends of yours that have been pretty rough.
Well, they're very frustrated with some of the coverage that they're seeing from those two. And they think I have the power to like chastise them out of this coverage. And I don't think I have that power, nor would I exercise it if I did. I'm not interested in doing that. I am not godmother to the Republican Party.
Okay, so I'd like to just stop it right there, you guys. I have my friend Warren McCommon with me. He's behind me. You can't see him, but you'll be able to hear him. You can find him on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. I'll show you all that information on the back end of editing, you guys. So we just watched the clip of Megyn Kelly saying that she cannot chastise her friends or associates, that she won't speak out against them. So I want to hear what Warren has to say, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. What do you think about that clip so far, Warren?
So, first of all, I think Megyn Kelly is a person who is loyal to her friends, and I think she must speak out against her friends, like Brandon Tatum spoke out against Candace Owens, after all. I think Megyn Kelly should share her opinions, so she's being famous for sharing her opinions, even if her opinion is against other people's opinion. So when she saw that Tucker Carlson is speaking against Israel and being an anti-Semitic person, also doing that speech in the Charlie Kirk's memorial. Megyn Kelly should call Tucker out without any fear. Some people are your friends, but when they do something wrong, you are calling them out in a good faith, because you want them to be better people, because you want to give them advice to make them better. So a criticism makes people better. So if people don't criticize, the conversation ends and violence begins. So when people don't criticize, people won't get better. They just put themselves in the wrong way that they are into.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You said that so eloquently. And let's talk about, no one, I think Megyn Kelly has kind of taken it to the extreme a little bit when she's like, oh, they want me to chastise, they want me to do this. No, from the ex post that I've seen, they're just merely asking, why aren't you asking more questions? And no, because of the platforms they have, their friendships were formed in the public. They didn't know each other privately before all this happened, before they blew up big, right? They met in the public forum, so they should keep it in the public forum. You can't tout transparency and all of this. And I think the biggest thing that kills me, and probably does you too, Mr. McCummon, is the fact of Erica Kirk, right? Candace Owens keeps making the statement that Erica Kirk is the only one that could shut her down. I can't even imagine, and we're going to get into this part later, because you guys, Candace claims that Charlie Kirk came to her in a dream. And, I've had other people that I just adore, latch on to that and say, oh, well, I've had dreams too. I'm not saying that it's true what she's saying. Well, why would you even push it forward? How do you think that makes Erica Kirk feel that, hearing that another woman that still has her husband saying that her dead husband has come to her, a woman's dead husband has went to another married woman in a dream? I mean, make that make sense to me. What do you think, Mr. McCummon?
I think the only reason that Candace Owens said that the only person who can stop me other than my husband is Erica Kirk, because this is her least loyalty to the Turning Point USA. Because the other people like Fuentes, like James Lee, like other woke right people, they just called Erica Kirk out. They just mocked Erica Kirk for forgiving the murder of Charlie Kirk, and they made conspiracy theories about her. Like one of them was like participating in a rape scandal, which was really weird and really bizarre disinformation about Erica Kirk. So I think the way that Candace is handling that, uh, it's in a bizarre way, because she has to just go by the facts, not lying for clicks and views. Like, and every time that Candace was lying about Charlie Kirk and saying, "I have a dream, I like dreamed Charlie Kirk last night" or something like that, she said, "Oh, see, 400,000 people are in my stream listening and watching me live. Uh, that's really good." Like, so she was like making herself a fake person when she was like being sad for Charlie, and she was being very happy when she saw that hundreds of thousands of people are watching her live.
That's all she's always been like that from when she departed the Daily Wire, when she first started her live streams. And that's when I started noticing little things like my comments weren't showing up, and then I mean, just all of the stuff that she's done from the time she released the live stream of the USS Liberty. You guys can go check that out on my live stream. It was actually the very first Stuck on Candy content that I did. So let's go back to, holding friends accountable, speaking out against them. I even posted myself on the X platform that I felt like Megyn Kelly was sounding like a child. If you tell me not to do this, that's going to make me want to do it even more. Are you kidding me right now? Only children say things like that, and if we're not going to hold our friends accountable, then what kind of friends are we? We should be the same in business as we are in personal. We should be the same all the way around. And we can't say that we're transparent and all of this stuff, that, we're independent thinkers and we'll call each other out, and then when they start getting backlash, the biggest thing I've noticed is they start tugging on the heartstrings, like, oh, I started my podcast for my children's playroom 5 years ago. Megyn Kelly said that. I'll play that clip on the back end. And it's like, that's apropos that you made that post, because you're acting like a child right now. You're acting like a child when you say that you will not hold someone accountable for the disrespect. And Erica Kirk is Turning Point USA. She was married to Charlie Kirk. They are one biblically. If you are a follower of the way of Jesus Christ, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Christian, whatever, you know that it's a man and a woman marriage. When you take a wife, you become one. When you take a husband, you become one with them. So it was probably already always laid out that they were very pragmatic people. They had children, and they probably thought about, hey, this is dangerous what I'm doing. This stuff could happen. So they probably made a plan. What's so wrong with that? And why, Candace Owens, you are no friend. You are no friend to anyone monetizing off of his death, claiming that you respect Erica Kirk. Have you even tried to call her? Has Candace Owens even tried to call Erica Kirk? She manages to make everything about herself.
But I think, like I said, Megyn Kelly is doing these things, and the only thing that can make her better is to just come up and criticize. Because, even Brandon Tatum, who was a much closer friend to Candace than Megyn. So Brandon just called Candace out because he knew that that was a good direction
and
to go. But the last thing that I want to say is about Konstantin Kissing, the host of Trigonometry. So he questioned Megyn Kelly on why didn't she criticize Candace or Tucker, and Megyn Kelly just went off to him, and it was just really disrespectful and childish.
Yeah, we're going to finish watching this little clip, and then I think I saw that as well.
Not anybody's mommy. I'm responsible for what I say, and only what I say. And my approach to covering the news and covering Republican politics and all the wars that we're discussing is generally to get as wide of a diverse viewpoint, group of viewpoints on my show as I can. You mentioned the tour. Mm-hmm. We're having Tucker Carlson on the tour, and we're having Ben Shapiro, I think, the next night. Or it's reverse, like literally within a couple nights of each other.
Each of them the same night in a cage.
If there's anybody in the nation who could get those two guys to come on together, it is me.
Yeah.
I submit humbly. I really do think I could make that happen.
Sure. And your relationship with Ben Shapiro has not.
No, I love Ben.
You guys
we're really tight, and he's been so respectful. He was on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we talked about my very mild criticisms of Israel. I mean, truly, I'm not an Israeli critic. I don't know why people are treating me like I am.
Okay, so here she goes. She pivots the conversation back to herself. No, we all were asking, why don't you invite Candace Owens onto your show? Warren, I think you had mentioned before that was it you that said it? That many people were saying that they felt like Officer Tatum wasn't really saying anything because he was trying to, keep things smooth, that in the off chance that he got Candace Owens over on his show, that he could confront her about it. But they all know how that stuff works, and I'm not one to seek gotcha moments, right? It's either you're going to be transparent or you're not, and usually I'm going to tell people what I'm going to confront them with before they, decide to come on to a live stream or any of that. I don't want to take people's choices away from them. And if they want to continue to hide, to me, I think they will expose it themselves. So let's hear a little bit more.
Be respected and that they can express them fully. And then I trust my audience to make up their own minds. I am not in the business of then running around after you do me the courtesy of coming on my show and telling me your viewpoint of being like, he sucks, he's terrible, he's an anti-Semite or an Islamophobe or a racist, which I don't believe. I'm not going to do it. And now it's turned into this faction that's trying to pressure me online. Feels to me like the BLM people. Raise your fist and say it. Say it.
It does have that dimension.
Stop
and the answer is no.
Stop it. Did you hear the BLM reference in there? Megyn Kelly, stop this madness.
You've only hardened my resolve to never do it. I will never be.
Listen to this childishness, Warren. Listen to what she says. This is the part that I'm talking about. Listen up.
Condition of our relationship, it's a hard no.
This is literally a conversation we had
you've
today,
only hardened my resolve to never do it. I will never be bullied. Ask anybody. That's the one thing that I will never bend the knee to. I'm not going to be bullied into saying something.
Let me ask you a question about that, because we had saying we had lunch today and we were talking about this, in that is clearly your response on X and on your show, is that the more you push me, the more I'm going to say fuck you to you, which is
what a child.
Honest and natural response.
Irish,
an Irish response. I don't want to impugn my people, but that is clearly your response on X and on your show is that the more you push me, the more I'm going to say fuck you to you, which is a honest and natural response.
Irish, yeah.
An Irish response.
Stupid.
I don't want to impugn my people, but that's who we are. It's
response.
like, don't fucking make me say it because I'll fucking punch you. But that kind of response, like if it wasn't that way, if there wasn't that big push, you just gave Andy McCarthy, like, you said, I love the guy, but
that's the irony.
Here's where I think he's wrong.
Totally the irony.
So you can say that about people.
No,
you
you're
have said that about a lot of people, but when they say do it to Tucker or Candace, you pull back.
Right.
So Tucker is in a different camp because I adore Tucker. I love
what?
him.
I will say, and I've said this privately to people, because incidentally, people have said it to me and probably to us. We get a lot of emails like, you're on Megyn's show. Incidentally, people have said it to me and probably to us. We get a lot of emails like, you're on Megyn's show. Why aren't you saying X? Why are you still going on? That kind of thing. So we get it as, second tier people too. But
speak for yourself.
A third tier, actually. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to elevate you where you don't deserve to be. That's fine. But that kind of thing, I understand. And I knew Tucker back in the day. And, I texted him about a year.
I wish they take the alcohol off the table. It's making them too long-winded. Let's see if they ever get to a damn point here.
These days. But I
just
get the friend.
I think you probably do. You probably do.
Maybe on some things, but there's big things.
Right.
Huge things where I'm like, okay, you've gone to conspiracy world, and I hate conspiracy world. But when it comes to those things, when it comes to Candace and Tucker and stuff, is it only because people are pushing you on this and because of people say the accusation of anti-Semitism? I will say forthrightly, full-throatedly, that is an absurd bullshit charge.
Oh my God, please just get to the point.
Be the prime minister of Israel? I'm not even sure at this point. There's no one that loves Israel more than Dennis Prager, who made a video saying the same thing. And I think that that's true. At the same time, when it comes to these people, you know what my position is in this. I was on your show saying, when you said things are taken out of context, you didn't tell me which ones. So I went back and watched.
I just said some of the things.
Some of the things. And I'm not saying that's not true. I don't know.
But it is true. It happens sometimes.
Well, because I said right after that, they'd been taken.
Oh my God. Warren, do you have anything to say about what you've heard so far? And then we'll see if they ever get to a point over here.
Actually, yes. I just want to refer to Megyn Kelly's beef, like a short beef with Constantine. So Megyn Kelly actually said, I have no obligation to separate myself from Candace and Tucker, and he's a close friend, and my fight is only with the left, and all of these things that she said to avoid the criticism of Tucker and Candace. And Constantine said the problem with this approach, which many on the right are taking, is that this is exactly how the left allowed its own extremists to to first flourish and then to become the face of the entire movement. So he also said, if you agree with Candace and Tucker, people will respect that. But to many of us, this behavior is so extreme and so deranged that the idea that it can be simply ignored because your fight is with the left doesn't wash.
Justified.
So actually,
right.
Yeah, it's not justified to say, oh, my fight is with the left. Actually, now, like the very leftist pro-Islam commentator Mehdi Hassan, he said, oh, wow, I reposted MTJ, Candace Owens, and now Matt Gaetz. So the horseshoe theory is real, and the woke left and the woke right, they come to each other just as James Lindsay said. So it's not just the left, and we can find Marxism and also the woke right and the people who go too far, like Tucker Carlson. So there's some signs of Marxism, like Max Blumenthal and all of these guys who are.
I think what kills me. Yeah, I think what bothers me the most about Megyn Kelly and her whole stance and her whole case is, because they're making me do it, they're bullying me. You know, Megyn Kelly, you've never struck me as anyone to be bullied, so I don't understand your statements. I think it's a bunch of hogwash. I think it's a lie. And she openly admitted it's because I love Tucker. So you'll let him get away with, you love your children, but are you going to let them do things that aren't good for them? Things that, if they're telling lies, if they're doing things that are uncorroborated. And I'll say it again, it's obstruction of justice if you have any type of anything, whatever that you think could result in your own death or the death of someone else. And this madness of someone else's husband came to you in a dream, Megyn Kelly, you should chastise her just for that. How would you feel if something happened to your husband and then Candace is like, oh, Megyn Kelly's husband came to me in a dream, right? I mean, really? You really believe this stuff? And then you guys claim to be followers of the way, Christians, whatever you call yourselves. Stop this madness. And now Candace is elevating religion over Jesus. I don't even understand that. You know, we are supposed to be the last, not the first. I don't know when we lost our way. So that's really, let's see what else she's saying, Warren, and then we'll wrap this one up because it's gone longer than what I wanted it to.
In my own head, that Candace is a young mom of like 3 young kids. She's under a lot of pressure. She's got a big show. She's been under attack since she came onto the public airwaves, and she's been under attack constantly.
Legal drama of her own making. Let's remember that.
And it's my prerogative if I say to myself, that is not someone I wish to attack. I do not feel that way. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I felt this way. And now that people have made my attacking her the stakes of my relationship with whatever person is saying this, I'm going to have to say goodbye to that person. I won't do it.
I think
now it's like a point of pride.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing as the BLM folks trying to make you raise your fist.
I think
the answer is no.
I think there's a lot of truth to
How childish is that? Oh, because they told me not to say it. All because they told me not to like. No one's told you to attack anyone. You are exasperating the situation. You are blowing it way out of proportion. And it is an attack on the people who have followed you, watched your show, trusted your commentary. You're losing your credibility along with everyone else simply because you like someone and you won't call them out. How can we trust you to tell us, what you think the best electorate candidate is? I don't trust you anymore. How can I trust you? I don't know. What do you think, Warren? Am I being too hard on Megyn Kelly?
No, you're not too hard on Megyn Kelly. Actually, sometimes people think that because they are their friends, they're not going too far. But that's why I think Megyn Kelly still doesn't think that, Candace Owens is going too far. So if she was in Erica Kirk's place, maybe she would call Candace out. So Erica Kirk is one of the most humble individuals in the conservative media, and she actually didn't call anyone out and only talking good about Charlie, and she only wanted to keep the movement alive and make the movement like a bigger movement than before to preserve Charlie Kirk's legacy. So actually Megyn Kelly is like very emotional, and she's that much emotional to ignore her friend's mistake.
I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, you guys, my final thoughts and statements on this situation. Megyn Kelly says that she will not back down from her friends. Candace, no one's asking you to attack anyone. I don't think anyone was asking for that. So I think we should rethink ourselves. Are we being really good friends, right? If we're not holding our friends accountable to the same standard and measures that we expect from the other party, what does that say about you? That's all I've got. Warren, you got any final closing statements?
No, you just pointed out.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the flip flop.